everyone, I'm Rather Incoherent. It's time for more XCOM 2. I've been feeling the itch. We're going to be running a heavily modded campaign. If you've seen the previous ones, you're familiar with this mod list, only it's like more refined, less bugs, been working it out over previous campaigns. The too long didn't read, which you will need because it is over 400 mods. I will have a link to the collection in the description, and I will talk about the mods as they come up. But the long story short of this mod list is that I am running Covert Infiltration to revamp the strategy layer, my own rebalance to make it into an 8-man campaign up from a 6-man campaign. I'm running a huge variety of enemy mods and my own patches to make them have roughly equivalent spawn weights so that they all play nice with each other. And I am playing with Proficiency class pack mods as my class overhaul for XCOM. And the overall goal of the mod list is to fix XCOM 2's notorious inverse difficulty curve and, you know, have a smooth and fun experience with lots of decisions and interesting things happening throughout the whole game. Of course, it's still XCOM, it's still going to be hard, and playing on Legend won't make it any easier. In terms of advanced options, we are going to be starting with a Skirmisher. Typically, I think this is the wrong choice. Reapers are much better at letting you be in control by giving you the information to avoid making bad decisions, and Templars are much better at staying in control by being great crisis management tools with a guaranteed damage. Skirmishers, to me, seem like the weakest choice. They do have the best headquarters, but you don't want to be scanning at headquarters regardless. I'm not just picking Skirmisher because it's different than optimal choices though. I'm picking Skirmisher because I have a Skirmisher rework as one of the mods that I'm using based off the Proficiency Skirmisher, and I want to test it out some more. Additionally, we'll be playing with Grim Horizon, although this text is wrong. The effects of all dark events are kind of permanent. Grim Horizon Light is a mod I have installed that allows you to fight back. The permanent dark events are there, but by going on a series of covert ops, you're able to slowly undo them if you feel like it's worth the investment to unfuck yourself. Which it definitely is some of the time, but most of the time, they're still just permanent. As for the rest of this, there's nothing else I'm interested in running with, so we'll go on to next. We have 400 mods, and I'm recording for YouTube. Let's not pretend I'm starting with Iron Man. I'm gonna have to troubleshoot something at some point, or just want to save and demonstrate something. So that's not happening. And we're turning off integrated downloadable content. This means that essentially your introduction to the rulers and all of that will be completely random, as opposed to putting them on alien basis. And I prefer it that way. I don't like knowing that the alien bases have rulers, and I don't like knowing that I can avoid rulers by not going to the bases, so I prefer just genuine randomness. Now, let's get into Gatecrasher and see how poorly it goes. Alright, as we load into Gatecrasher, there's a lot of mods to talk about, so let's start going through it. I'm going to try to explain mods as we encounter them. A lot's going to slip through the cracks, as there's a lot of mods where I'm just going to be like, oh, that's a part of the game, and I forget that it's a mod. For instance, that's free camera rotation. By default, there is no 45-degree turn, you just skip past it, and it's infuriating. Not really a mod so much, this is my own custom character pool. I have ridiculous Metal Gear style code names for all of my characters. Our opening team, our Skirmisher is going to be a Guilty Chimera, and our gaggle of rookies is Psycho Mantis, White Wolf, Jaded Rabbit, Big Large, Sonic Serenade, Seething Orca, and Steel Guardian. Also, it looks like we got together and decided that red-orange is the color scheme of the Rebellion. I don't know why that was an important part of this guerrilla warfare, but I guess it's nice that we're all on the same page aesthetically. Now, this is not your normal Gatecrasher. That's immediately apparent to anyone who's played XCOM 2 before. That's part of Covert Infiltration's rework of the campaign. I've got 8 units. That's because of my own 8-man rebalance for Covert Infiltration. Normally in Covert Infiltration, you would start with 6 units and always have 6 units. I've increased the amount of enemies to accommodate for the fact that I will always have more units. So now all the pods will also not always have more units, but on average, they'll have 1 more unit per pod, scaling up and getting worse as the campaign goes. But it's going to be variant. So instead of always having 1 unit in any pods, it'll have 2 50% chances at an additional unit. So it might have the same, or it might have 2 more, and on average, everything's just bigger by 1. For my Skirmisher, you'll notice that he has a heat bar. Proficiency class pack Skirmishers reworks the class to be an action economy class, where the longer it's shooting its gun, the more heat it has, and the more heat it has, the more damage its Ripjack does, which is a baseline melee ability like Slash. It also starts off with a grapple, and we'll get into the rest of the changes once we can see their tree. As we start the mission, you can see that up here we have a kill counter. This is Tactical UI Kill Counter Redux by Rusty. And over here we have, what is it called? Select Soldier Icons Redux by Rusty as well, which allows us to go through and select them like this with their class icons. And you will see that after we move somebody, let's move somebody who's not body blocked. Not body blocked, I said. And then after we move them, well, we pull a pod immediately, or not pull, but seize. As you can see, substantially larger than your normal Gatecrasher gaggle of guys. This one rolled high on the average number of enemies I was talking about. But now you can see this one action unit has a different icon, and if we were to go over to somebody with 0 actions, that again would be different. Do I want to ambush this group? Before I demonstrate this, I want to make sure I actually want to fight them. I think it's good to run left and try to get a fight over here. This seems likely to avoid pulling too many other pods. And now you can see that we have this completely grayed out versus just darker. It's very nice. It's the most minimal and efficient UI for selecting soldiers. I greatly prefer this to the previous UI mods that I was using. Now, getting into proper gameplay and not mod descriptions, let's start sprinting along this ridge and figure out where our best Overwatch ambush is going to be, or our best good old-fashioned normal ambush. Odds are, for fighting them, we really don't want to start the fight now. If they walk this way, there's not a good ambush, right? I think we're going to run past to here. Yeah, for now, we're just mirroring them up top, and once we know which direction they're going, we'll meet them next to the tower they're going towards.
Roger that.
And there's no risk of us getting caught here whatsoever, just because they are so far away. I guess they could start by walking directly towards the edge of the map. I've never seen that pattern on Gatecrasher, though. They're going to be patrolling left or right, pretty much guaranteed. It looks like they're going left, so we are running in the correct direction. God, that really is 6 guys, though, isn't it? Oh, also, important to mention, you can see mods already at work. We have Advent Demolitionist from A Better Advent, and I am going to go ahead and get F1 up here. With the Demolitionist, by the way, this is also a mod, not just base UI, yet another F1. Coming over the Advent Demolitionist, you can see that he has Throw Frag Grenade, unlike a normal trooper. He's just a normal trooper with a frag. The Advent Sniper, you can see hits for 2 to 4 damage, which is terrifying because it means it's just a 33% to kill a rookie without a crit. And he also has a Smoke Grenade. And then we have the Meta Drone, which is there to heal and stun and not really a fight, but it's mostly there to take forever to kill and be a nightmare. Now, because we know they're running left, we're going to push hard left to try to get in position to fight them, which means we're flat sprinting. Where is my skirmisher? I would like to grapple directly to the tower this turn if I can to get eyes ahead. I don't think this is going to take me there. I can grapple here to run further. I don't know that I care about that. I'm going to run down here instead. And that doesn't give me any additional information, which is for the best. I don't want it to give me information because that would imply that this is a bad ambush. If I find anything out, it's that this ambush isn't working. There's really not a lot of great high ground up here. The cover just sort of stops, which is not what I wanted to find out. Yeah, I think these last 2 guys don't really have anywhere to be. I'm just going to be running them back here so that they can't be discovered because they're too far back on the high ground. There really isn't anywhere good to put them, so I'm just putting them as far as I can. And they'll find positions next turn as we continue to set up the ambush. Alright, they're continuing to walk towards the tower. God, that really just is a lot of guys. I greatly prefer my new settings for having 0 to 2 as opposed to always 1 because of this nonsense. Like, this is just threatening. What a pod. There are 4 pods on this map, by the way. The others will presumably be less bad than this one. Alright. Let's see if we can't get up top now. Yeah, we can grapple up here. It looks like there's no visibility to this tile for them. Now I can get to here and see if this is a successful ambush position. We can fight them. The issue is they're probably about to leave, and the fight's not actually happening. I think I have to run 1 person wide out here just to look around the corner. What I should have done instead is just, yeah, find somebody who's got this limited mobility, because there's not going to be anyone else who can reach all the way out.
Location confirmed.
Yeah, this ambush is not going to happen, but we are at least moving towards high ground, moving towards better positions. Not this guy. This guy's moving 1 tile. There's really just nowhere for them to be.
Moving on target.
Yeah, this is hardly an ambush. There's just no locations for us to be in. That's fine, though. One of the mods that I don't use that seems like an egregious absence from my load order is Overwatch Everyone. I just hate having the 2 extra buttons on every single soldier, making hotkeys awkward. Additionally, almost every time I press Overwatch Everyone, I immediately regret it and think, oh, I should have done X instead on someone else. Alright, so this is where they're pivoting and going the other direction. This could be an ambush if people were in positions to ambush. However, that does not appear to be the case. I could Beagle Rush this. The issue is that they absolutely can just shoot me if I pull that nonsense. I'm willing to risk wounds on 1 soldier. It's unlikely he gets killed. Or she. Who knows what gender the person I commit suicide with will be. We're not in range to get the grenade on all 5 of them. If somebody was, I think that would be enough for me to go. But there's no way for anyone to be in range. Maybe this position? Doesn't seem like it will be. Alright, the fact we can get this grenade is really tempting then, right? I think I want to overwatch on this high ground shot here, and I want to start the fight. It's not a great pull. Like, I'll be the first to admit this is not a great pull, but there's just not a good position to fight from here. I'm not interested in repositioning for another 20 minutes to get a better opening. That's a 5-target grenade, shredding the armor on something with a high ground overwatch shot, and then 6 people in the vicinity to scatter and get something done. High ground on my skirmisher. I forgot I overwatched on White Wolf. One of those shots went through, someone's burning, and that should be guaranteed killing them. Never mind. Wait, no, you healed someone else. Thanks, Medrone. I appreciate it. Oh, wait, I don't know. Is it turn order dependent? When does burning tick on you? Burning units take 1 to 3 damage over time and can't use most abilities. Ends in 2 alien turn starts. I don't know if this goes off immediately or if the Medrone can heal it before it dies. I'm going to assume it goes off immediately, but that is a dangerous thing to have to assume. Now, taking a look at my skirmisher, we have a 78 on the Medrone and a 47 on the sniper. The sniper is definitely the most threatening target. Let's take somebody who's around the back in an awkward position, swing them to here, and toss a grenade at that skirmisher. Not that skirmisher, that sniper. I need to kill it, and this either gets rid of its cover or kills it outright. Either way, the skirmisher will make sure that it's dead eventually. So the cover will explode eventually now. Let's start with a shot on this Medrone. I want to be shooting to build up heat for the Ripjack, but now I'm in an awkward spot where, realistically, this is not a great shot. It could just blow up on a miss anyway. I want to shoot. I absolutely no longer want to Ripjack, not that it was safe to run forward in the first place. The other shots are worse and not your job, so I'm going to take this shot. That makes my decision-making easier on someone else. I was expecting to have to run around and waste a grenade to finish him off. I forgot that this lights on fire instead of breaking instantly. Very important knowledge. Been a long time since I played XCOM. Okay, so this trooper is dead. That trooper is not the biggest problem. This demolitionist should be an easy flank and kill by someone, right? I can't quite get to the top of the tower here, but I can just get around to the side and take a shot. Over here, I can also get to full cover and take a shot. I'd be running slightly forward into Fog of War if I did that, and there's nothing else this character is doing in the first place, so I may as well take the shot on Steel Guardian. Technically, that also pulled like 2 tiles of Fog of War, but it's very unlikely to pull. Alright, now we go into the other one and pull more Fog of War, but... Wait, who's in the back there that still had an action? I forgot about you. Do you have vision? You do. This is the closest tiles and the most accurate one, so I'll just run to here and take this shot. Because there's literally no other way this character can contribute this turn. Man, he's untouchable. Considering he's the guy with the grenade, I would very much like to hit him. What do we have left? It's just Big Large and Jaded Rabbit. Big Large is probably just moving forward and overwatching, which means it's going to be on Jaded Rabbit, and if Jaded Rabbit misses this, then I'm going to have to just throw a grenade. I can't let that guy live. He has a grenade, I have a person on high ground that's destroyable next to him. Thank you, I'm glad someone eventually got it right. Now this soldier, it's just easy run forward overwatch. I can't get into a position to flank the last guy. Trying to do so would involve pulling Fog of War. Good job burning. It did go off instantly before any moves had happened, which is good for future knowledge. Apparently that pulled the overwatch. Oh yeah. That I just said. I thought it was pulling from back here because it zoomed out so much, but it's zooming out because he's running away. It would seem that he found friends pretty immediately. This pod is substantially less threatening. That one rolled to 0. So that's just triple trooper with an additional 1 health trooper in the back now. I think here I have no choice. Oh, they're not in line of sight. Interesting. I guess this one's the only one close enough and he's blocked by these pillars. Let me tell you, this Ripjack doesn't feel like a good decision. Just pull an overwatch and, 20 tiles of Fog of War. What could go wrong? The overwatch is on the one in the very back. I think what I want to do to deal with that is pull the overwatch here while I'm in half cover relevant to the overwatch, and then blue move bug to this full cover. Blue move bug, if you don't know, if you move around in blue move radius but using waypoints, as long as you end your turn still in blue move radius, that is going to result in it only costing 1 move action. So I can do stuff like this to pull overwatches in a really beneficial way without actually wasting my dash. 21% still higher than I'd like to see, but you gotta do it sometimes. Ooh, I just realized how scary that is of pulling something from over here. If that had happened, this might have just been a white Gatecrasher where I take multiple serious wounds and it's better to reset immediately. Thankfully, it didn't happen. Now, Seething Orca has no grenades. Big Large, however, has plenty. No one else is running for this full cover, so it makes sense to put it on him, or put him on it, rather. And then we figure out where this grenade's going. We can destroy this man's cover. We can't get that man. We can destroy this man, or sorry, we can damage this man, but his cover will never break. He would be the target for the Ripjack if there was a target for the Ripjack. Let's figure out what's happening on this side. If I run forward, there's not a flank on this line. There's just no safe cover there. Waits. There is. There's a right here from this unit specifically. He can get to that flank. So I have to be sure that's getting dealt with. In which case, the next move is this to blow out his cover, deal damage to him, and let someone else finish him off, so that I can safely take that position. Or we can just high roll the 4 damage. So that you know, if we come over to something like this, where it's 3 to 5, the way damage works in this game is this gun actually deals 4 damage with a variance of 1, so it's going down 1 to up 1. But if you see something with an odd damage, such as this, where it deals 3 to 4, that's not got a clear divisible of 2 in the middle, what that is has something called a +1 chance, which is different for every weapon in the game. It can be any percent. For grenades, it's only 20% to deal that 4 damage. So that was a very good high roll. So I think we're going to be moving forward to here, seeing if this pulls anything. I don't know that this gives us any good additional plays, though, is the problem. I think from here we take a couple of additional moves, like here on Steel Guardian, or here could be better. Worse if we get a pull, but better in all other circumstances. Wait, is that true? He just barely cannot get over, so there's no flank. So I think this is the better cover tile.
Whatever you say.
No pull, that's good. I don't think I'm comfortable taking any sort of Ripjack here. I'm going to reload Overwatch on that soldier. I'm going to... it's just hard to get good things happening here. I don't want to Overwatch them. I can take a guaranteed grenade kill if I can move a little bit further forward. No one's going to have the moves for that, though. Oh, right, we cleared this position. That might be able to get the guaranteed grenade kill on the trooper in the back. The thing is, I don't want to use this grenade, which works out because I can't use this grenade anyway. It's almost there. It's just not quite. Man, this is going to be an awkward turn, isn't it? I did not want to have 3 people up at the end of this. Where am I going to be trying to send soldiers? I'm going to be trying to send them here. I'm going to be trying to send them up this line. This is full cover. I'm trying to send soldiers up that line, so that's a great place to be dashing to. And now we're down to... Hi, Psycho Mantis. You seem a little bit at a loss for good positioning. Let's not light yourself on fire, right? If we route around the fire, we've got this move, and we can do a blue move and Overwatch instead. I think that's just going to be blue move Overwatch. I don't think there's any argument for other moves, which is unfortunate.
Affirmative. Covering now.
Our skirmisher's already Overwatched. That just leaves us with 4 rookies who've already blue moved and have no good shots, no good grenades. I'm going to take the 4 Overwatches. This is just a terrible thing to be doing. You never want to do this, but with the cover they're in and how far away my grenades were, like, the reason it wasn't a great ambush is because it resulted in this. But I mean, if we just want to nail our 16% Overwatches, it makes it a lot better. Wait, excuse me, are you shooting? Okay, that's fine. I thought you were shooting Guilty Gamera. I was very upset. I was like, he doesn't have line of sight to you. How's that fair? Now, unfortunately, Psycho Mantis is at 1 health, so, you know, they're never going to see combat for the next month of the game. But as long as they're not dead, that's all that really matters. They'll get to be in the game eventually. What I can do is I can pull the Overwatch here and then blue move to this. Again, it's like a 20% to take damage. I don't want to do it, but nobody has good shots on this man. To move up for a grenade requires someone to pull the Overwatch, so... Sorry, Seething Worker, it's just your lot in life today. Only 14% this time. Weird that wasn't the last one like 21? I don't know why those numbers would be different, but oh well. I want to save that in case I'm grenading this. There's 2 pods left. How many grenades do I currently have? 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm at 5 grenades. Theoretically, we could use them. I'd just really rather not. This move has a flank, but if it pulls, it's terrible. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to start with someone further back. Actually, this isn't a useful position offensively at all, and Psycho Mantis isn't doing anything offensively. So dashing to this full cover to test for Fog of War seems like a great thing to do with them.
No problem.
That might look dangerous as hell for the idea of them getting flanked, but I feel like we've largely ruled that possibility out. I think I want to run forward again and test whether or not it's safe for Chimera to just rip Jack in here. This blue move does about all the testing you possibly can. Alright, so at that point, you just have to believe this Rip Jack works, right? I mean, 2% of the time, 1 in 50 times, this is going to be really awkward. But it's Gatecrasher, right? Like, what else am I going to do? Alright, good job, Chimera. Nice to see that solved easily. I can Hail of Fire, just like 30% after 30% here. This guy definitely has a flank available, but I mean, taking it would be suicide if I overwatch him repeatedly. I have to use a grenade on this. I don't like it. I have 4 left. That's half my grenades for half the pods. It sucks to use this grenade, but the alternative is like, you know, committing every overwatch this guy, and he still might just shoot somebody at 30% and deal crippling wounds to them. I think the best shot here is gonna be on Seething Orca. She's fairly close. In addition, like, she doesn't have high ground. She doesn't have good sight lines. Overwatches on her are probably pretty bad. Over here on Steel Guardian, that is one of our most likely places to be pulling an Overwatch, so he's great for Overwatch. Same deal with Jaded Rabbit for their Overwatch. Run forward onto the car here with Big Large. Great name. Great name. Always forget that guy exists in the character pool. Moving forward with Sonic Serenade and Overwatching there as well. That'll be our last action. And due to the existence of Yellow Alert, it's very likely that pods will be running towards all the grenades we've thrown. Alright, Yellow Alert or not, we haven't pulled anything. Or even gotten a ping, which is perhaps the weirdest part. I briefly was like, yeah, high ground, let's do it. And then I realized how badly my team is positioned to deal with a pull there. I think I want to reload Overwatch pretty much everyone here.
Overwatch. Let's rock.
Just give it a second to breathe.
Okay.
Move to here instead. Still gonna take the Overwatch here instead of reloading. Pull back here just a little bit. That's fine to Overwatch. Reload Overwatch here. May as well reload Overwatch instead of just Overwatching because I'm not moving forward. Just get everyone loaded, get everyone slightly closer together, rather. Sectoid pod, huh? Immediately railed by, I think that was the skirmisher. But what's the rest of the pod doing? That's just one trooper? That's exceptionally weird if that's just one trooper. I've literally never seen a pod of 2 on this map before. I thought their baseline was 3, but apparently it's not. That poor sectoid. His pod's a lot less threatening when he forgets to bring his friends.
Move it.
Oh, this is Psycho Mantis. I shouldn't be pulling Fog of War with her. Just hunker down. Forget I told you to do that. I would like my units to live. I don't need them to live and be healthy, but I do need them not to suffer crippling, career-ending wounds. I really don't want to destroy the loot and the sectoid. This is part of extended unit flags. I always debate if I want to turn this off. Personally, I think that even though it gives me more information and results in situations that are beneficial to the player, it actually results in making more decisions. Because if you don't know if something has a loot, there is just a correct answer based on the chance. There is going to be a chance they have loot. That chance is unlikely. And based on the threat of the unit will determine whether or not you destroy the corpse. And there's never additional decision making. Because now I know for a fact they have the loot sometimes, though it forces me to actually think about the decision. And that tends to be how I go about, is it okay for XCOM to be buffed? If they're buffed, but it's giving you something to think about and make decisions involving, then I just view that as beneficial. There are a million ways to make the game harder. Just put a pod as 6 in Gatecrasher. That'll make the game a lot harder. You don't need to worry about something buffing XCOM. You just need to worry about it buffing XCOM in uninteresting ways. Guilty Chimera has Ripjack Strike here from full cover for a nearly guaranteed kill. If he sees through this window a pod right there, it will be disastrous, but otherwise this is just obviously great. I'll take my Illyrium core, thanks. Now we have one trooper left behind full cover, pretty far back. I think our plan is just move closer and overwatch from various angles and try to avoid pulling the last pod wherever they are. Like, moving over here feels really bad. I don't want to do that. I definitely want to go around and do anything else instead.
Okay, I'll go.
Is there a flank here? Wait a second. Hey, guy. So this soldier can move here, step out. Are all of you in line with the window or one over? They're one over. All right, I thought they were all flanked by him, and I was very worried. We're good. We're going to overwatch everyone on this car. That's just very obviously the thing to do. I don't feel like there's much of a point of blue moving Orca, but there's also not much of a point of dashing to this position that everyone else is already at and overwatched on. Moving here pulls fog if we're around this corner, so I don't want to do it. So I'm just overwatching again. I hate how many times in this mission I've just been overwatching troopers and not dealing with them. But I've been in just terrible far back positions. Oh, if he wants to run away, I don't know how safe that is. At 12%, it's probably safe, even if I shoot at him like 4 times. I see he just gave up on animating the second half of that run. He's over here now. He's, you know, he's around. He's doing stuff. We know that he's running towards the last pod. It makes sense that it would be over there. I think what we want to do is take this chance to, if we know the last pod is in this direction, because he's running for help, we want everyone to go around the side. Now, this could just be the sickest bait and switch of all time, but it probably isn't. And I don't want to be dashing. I want to have people with vision inside the building overwatched on this turn in case they're running through the building and they're not actually outside of it.
Covering now. Sure thing.
So I think that is a pretty straightforward set of moves in terms of where we're trying to get to.
Moving out.
Anyone who's too far back is just going to be dashing. Anyone who can get into a good position in Overwatch will do so. Yeah, it's safe to dash to here.
Move, move.
I think all that's left is a couple of Overwatches. Cool. Now, they might be running towards us, but we have plenty of Overwatches for this. It's why I wasn't just hard sprinting to get on the roof, especially going up this ladder. I was trying to go around to do it. Excuse me?
Advent forces on the ground.
What was the Overwatch sound that just went off? Anyway, everyone shoot the officer, please. Or at least, you know, spook him a little bit. Throw bullets in his general direction. Man, I bet he's really upset about the number of people who tried to kill him. I mean, they are all 35%, right? It is unlikely to miss 5 1 and 3s consecutively, but also none of them mattered that much. They weren't really, like, great plans. We got 5 guys, we have 1 loot. What's happening right now is they're getting something called Yellow Alert Actions. That is a mod called Yellow Alert, unsurprisingly, and I have an additional sub-mod called Yellow Alert Light. All the stuff I've been doing, shooting guns, throwing grenades, that attracts attention. The other pods hear it and they run towards it, or they try to flank it, or they set up traps, that sort of thing. And based on how they get to me, if they get to me at the end of their move, they just scamper like normal. They've used their whole turn to get to me. But if they were right outside of line of sight, if they would have basically had their turn skipped by the pod mechanic, based on how much movement left they have, there's a % chance that they get actions, which is why all of them got actions. They were right on the edge of line of sight last turn. They were all basically skipping their turn because of the scamper mechanic. So they all got their action back and were allowed to take it. However, Yellow Alert Light puts a lot of restrictions on what they're allowed to do. Essentially, only defensive actions. They can't run in from Fog of War and shoot you or mind control. They can overwatch, they can use abilities, but they cannot do directly offensive things. I think it strikes a happy balance between the actual balanced gameplay of the pod system and the nonsense gaminess where the pod system can give you way too much safety because you know they don't get their turns. Now, can I grapple up this turn? I can. That is excellent. Get up there. I don't know if I'll just be using my ripjack anyway or if I'll be taking shots. Oh, wow, that pulls Overwatch. I had no idea. I assumed because there wasn't an Overwatch indicator it wouldn't pull Overwatch, but that is not the case. We have an officer in range of an explosive, so that's great. And I mean, all right, the ripjack determines what I'm doing, right? I don't care about the drone. I don't care about ripjacking the explosive or the officer. Ripjacking this guy is from a very vulnerable position, so I would never do that. Same with this guy. So I'm never ripjacking this turn, in which case the best thing to do is very clearly to shoot my gun and kill the officer. There goes the officer's heavy cover. Anyone can kill him from here. I'm going to save that shot for a little while as other people move around. We figure out what's going on. Psycho Mantis will be going last. We have an Overwatch in the back. That Overwatch is not going to get canceled by a grenade. We're way too far away for that to ever happen. We don't have the high grounds. Seething Orca's in a lot of danger here on account of the mark. So she and Psycho Mantis are the ones I won't be, you know, playing safely with. I think Sonic Serenade takes this move. I should either pull the Overwatch while I'm in this cover or the other cover. Either way, relative to the guy on the Overwatch, I'm in cover.
Let's do this.
At full health, without being marked, I think doing this into full cover is probably safe on Sonic Serenade. Yep, 21%. I don't know why it was 14% that one time. Oh, there is another one that I did not know about in Fog of War. Yeah, sorry about that, Sonic Serenade. Happens to the best of us. That'll buff right out. Don't worry about that. Now, we're allowed to move forward. This is on fire. I was not aware this truck was on fire. I really should have been aware that this truck was on fire. I feel like I need to start drafting the condolences letter to Sonic Serenade's family already. That does give us some moves forward to full cover that are safe now, just obviously not on Serenade. Does anyone with grenades have forward movement that's actually good, though? That's the real question. Well, they have forward movement, just, you know, not much of it. Not much of it at all. I think I take this grenade so the med drone can be dealt with. I also like getting rid of this cover so they can't advance to it. Additionally, what else am I doing? That's a big part of the logic there. If I don't throw this grenade, what am I doing? Now, I don't think my skirmisher actually has, you know, anything to do with his time. So I may as well be shooting the officer and building up this Ripjack for next turn, which will definitely be a dash Ripjack type of turn. Over here on Steel Guardian, who is currently doing some very interesting posing.
Oh, yeah.
I accidentally hit R trying to figure out what the key to zoom in was. It's T, by the way. Anyway, now his turn is a much, much worse on account of the fact that he can't move, so I'm going to be overwatching and ending my turn. That's very bad. At least I know what the key to zoom in is now. It's not reload. That wasn't the key. I think I take the 2 out of 3 out of 35. So, you know, the 22% chance to kill here. Overwatch is very bad. It'll be shooting end cover. It will be worse. There's no reason to take a shot that's just going to be worse than this with the Overwatch. It's not a good shot. I know it's not a good shot, but it's what we've got. Now, unfortunately, there's no way to get into great cover up top. I can get into full cover down here. Oh, that's interesting. The wall's blown open and it's half cover now. That's why I'm able to get there. I'm safe to flank, so if I move here, I'm in full cover. I'm in a better position to flank them next turn. I know I'm marked. Being marked makes me really hesitant to move forward on Psycho Mantis. Or sorry, not on Psycho Mantis, on Seething Orca. It's the already being dead that makes me hesitant to move here. I'm going to swing right in case they move right to have a flank with Psycho Mantis next turn, then hunker. This has just been a terrible Gatecrasher. I've been so defensive and reactive. I haven't been getting anything done. I'm going to get 54 to kill there, and that's... I hate to do it, but it's the best thing we've got going. Hey, we actually did it. Also, you hit for 5. Good job. I guess he would never have killed in one shot, though, because of, what's it called? The shred from the grenade. I am going to take this move. I don't like it, but there's no one with grenades. There's nothing that's really punishing this. I have too many injured soldiers and bad positioned soldiers to be holding Seething Orca all the way back because of the mark. I have to accept that it's kind of dangerous. It's still 20% to hit through full cover with the mark. We should be fine here. 25% even with the distance bonuses, I guess. Yeah, that was not as good as I thought it was. I didn't realize when I was doing Sonic Serenade's turn that they would just be in a terrible position guaranteed at the end of it. Now, we have Guilty Chimera to Ripjack, whoever's the hardest to get to. Who's got grenades other than Guilty... Wait, does Guilty Chimera have a Ripjack and a grenade? It would be crazy if he did. Yeah, not even close. We have a grenade on Steel Guardian. He'll have to pull the Overwatch to use it. And even if he blue moves forward as far as he can, I don't think he gets to throw it. I have one tile out of line of sight. I'm so close to being able to flank from a safe location, but I'm not. I can blue move to here and then throw a grenade. It seems very unsafe. I'm only getting 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles of distance. My grenade, it's getting intercepted by the floor. I think I'm more than 4 tiles off of hitting both these guys though, so it's not relevant. So I think I have to pull on Seething Orca again. And then we blue move bug right beside this man, and we just have to accept that we're going in and taking risks this turn. This has been a terrible positioning on Gatecrasher just all the way around. We've been in so many situations where we just had to overwatch or pull overwatches instead of being good in proactive positions. Anyway, 85% with a chance to low roll. I forgot about that part. So it's a 2/3 to kill and a 33 to, look, don't worry about the 33%. That's not gonna happen. That's unfortunate. We do have the second shot here to flank, and we're already all in. So we may as well just take this shot as well now. Look, there's no way we get 1 and 9 and we have both low rolls, right? Yeah, easy. Now, we have the Ripjack on the one furthest back. We just need a grenade to do something. Unfortunately, I think even with the full distance blue move, the grenade is just short. It's just in range. I was incorrect. So we do have the incredibly risky series of plays where there's multiple failure points where somebody's getting shot. But hey, just like, don't have that happen to you. 96 instead of 98. What do you mean squad sight penalty, Guilty Chimera? My man, what are you talking about? This is a melee weapon. The thing is, I can't blue move forward to fix it because I might be on an odd movement interval. Let's just take the shots that kill the guy first before we worry about this too much. Also, I didn't mean to double one. The other one's just flankable because I've destroyed his cover as well, apparently, which is relevant. I don't know if I prefer the kills here or not. I think I would prefer to make sure my skirmisher ranks up. He already has. In that case, it really doesn't matter. I will put more points on the skirmisher to try to get to the next rank faster. There's always something with modded XCOM where I look at it and it's like, yeah, that probably isn't right. It's not hurting anyone. Oh, it is 98%. It was just a glitch on the graphics, or on the F1. On the tooltip of the shot, I don't know what to call that UI element. But hey, it was a 98%. Everything went fine. Oh yeah, we actually have to rescue the prisoners. It's already kind of playing the victory music. Like, the mission is over. We just have a couple of steps left. All right, Seething Orca, let's get out of here. Couple more wounds that I would have liked, but a deathless Gatecrasher is a good Gatecrasher. It's very easy with like 6-man pods for things to get wildly out of hand very quickly. Unsurprisingly, we don't get the hack reward, but we do get mission complete. 15 enemies on Gatecrasher, perfectly normal. I honestly feel like I got pretty lucky with the pods that time. I've never seen a pod of 2 on Gatecrasher before. Before we go, though, we probably should go to view mission debriefing and check out who did the best. Spoilers, it's probably the skirmisher, although Seething Orca did incredibly. Not so much on Sonic Serenade, who mostly just got murdered. Steel Guardian hard carried by his teammates this time. That is not a great stat spread. Guilty Chimera never missed a shot, never missed an Overwatch, and got 34 damage and 6 of 15 kills. Put the team on his back a little bit. It's nice to see. Unlike Psycho Mantis' stats, let's not talk about those. White Wolf, barely acceptable. Jaded Rabbit doing better than some people, but I would like to have him be the worst person on the team with those stats. Like, I hate looking at Big Large and thinking, yeah, you outperformed at least 3 other people. That stat line is terrible. Let's get out of here. That's an embarrassing mission for a lot of folks. One of the few things that makes me genuinely sad about 6-man campaigns is that when you walk back, the UI is just not quite there. Oh wait, shit, I'm lying. All 8 of us are there, they're in the back now. I don't know when the mods were updated to allow this, I'm so happy. I mean, I can't click on them, they're not here, but they're part of the team, you can see them. That's wonderful. Oh, you can click on them in the next part. Look at you go, mod community. That's incredible. I'm so happy about that. We have an Illyrium core, a suppressor. What do suppressors do again? Crit chance while concealed. Yeah, there's a reason I don't remember what suppressors do. That's unfortunate. The foregrip is good though. Plenty of corpses, couple alloys, sectoids, Illyrium crystals. If you're wondering about the alloys and Illyrium crystals, I forgot about this during the mission. That is Loot Pinata's Lights. There is a mod that's color coding this stuff, but for the life of me, I can't remember. It just feels like a base game feature at this point. And now there are a million things that need our attention. Oh, these are not well, that could be a new trait. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. So we have starting traits. And let's go see what they were. What did we roll on our starting characters? We have Overseer. This unit works best overseeing others and turning Overwatch automatically when any teammate takes an Overwatch shot. That's interesting. That's a really strong random positive trait. It probably means this guy's immediately going to Marine, and with 49 will, he might be going to AT Marine. That's very, very interesting. Big Large is the Hunter of Chosen, which checks out. Big Large going after giants. Fear of sectoids. Fantastic, Fox. That is bad news. That is not a good thing to be afraid of. Ferocious. This unit's too angry to die. Upon experiencing one lethal blow in a mission, they'll survive the damage, become berserk and immune to damage for the rest of their turn. Excuse me? All right. And Fear of the Lost. You found a way to make them scary. You just have to believe they're scary, and they are. Now I know the secret. Thanks, Torpedo Avalanche. I'm gonna forget that and send you on a mission with Lost, and you're gonna be the only person to die. On the whole, I think just like this Overseer character, like we didn't get too many negatives. The negatives we got, Fear of Sectoids and Lost, are pretty bad, but this Overseer 49 will rookie is pretty incredible. Both of our wounds are 23 to 28 days. They'll be back during the second month, but they won't be around for the first Terror mission, which is unfortunate. Especially on a 50 will soldier. Dear Lord, look at that man go. 38 will is not impressive. I think the will range is like 36 to 50, so this is the max, and this is pretty close to the minimum. Let's go check out skirmishers for a second before we get into all the other stuff, because the other stuff's gonna involve a lot of complicated long-term planning. Betos, I do not care. Stop talking to me. So every class is gonna have this perk here. Everyone has something called a Proficiency perk. That's the core identity of the Proficiency class pack, where they have an ability that is going to do stuff, and as you level up the character, it's going to get better. You have level 1 at Squatty, level 2 at Sergeant, which is here, and then level 3 at Major, where this ability is getting better and better. In the case of this character, you get the Heat Seek mechanic, where shooting builds up heat, which makes the Ripjack deal more damage and have more crit, and you lose heat randomly over the course of turns. So, you know, shoot your gun, Ripjack, what you were seeing in that mission. You also start with the Grapple, and it has a shared cooldown for the Grapple ability, Justice when you get to Sergeant, and Wrath when you get to Major. Additionally, it is a skirmisher, it has Marauder, it has Ripjack Strike, it has the integrated Grapple. And for our first ranks, you can see we have Explosive Action. Explosive Action is technically action neutral, right? Gain an action now, lose an action next turn, and it's on a cooldown. But because of how important Alpha Striking is, how important just getting more output of one turn, Explosive Action is just an absolutely incredible perk. Combat Conditioning is a generically good perk, but it's not what I'm looking for. And Sprint, in its best case, is objectively better than Explosive Action, because very frequently you'll Explosive Action and then you'll move, so Sprint was just better because you don't lose the action next turn. But it's not as flexible, and for that reason we're taking Explosive Action, because sometimes you just have to shoot your guns at a mech 3 times, right? Now, additionally, there's one other change that's already been made from my rebalance, and that is that our aim up here is at 76. Normally, skirmishers have 15 aim progression like a Marine, instead of 25 aim progression like a Sniper or a Reaper. And in my rebalance, because skirmishers were so incompetent at low ranks and felt terrible all the time, I put them to 20 between Marines and Sharpshooters, and front-loaded that +5 to the beginning, which is how Sharpshooters and Reapers work, but they get the majority of their aim bonus right at the start. So more accurate than Marines, but less accurate than the actual sharpshooting classes. And in that mission, you can see, like, based on the Ripjack odds to hit being almost 100%, actually somewhat reliable shots, the 5% is a huge deal for making the character feel reliable. All those Ripjack strikes at 93% instead of 98%, we go from a 2%, or 1 in 50, to nearly a 10%, right? A 7%, almost 1 in 10. I know it's better than that. It's like 1 in 13, 1 in 14. But The difference in 1 in 50 and 1 in 14 is tremendous. The +5 aim at Squatty is a big part of why I like the rebalance so much. It just makes the character feel like it works at low ranks. Whereas without that +5 aim, I legitimately think that Squatty and Corporal Skirmishers are the weakest class in Proficiency class pack, including base units. Like, they're worse than the normal units from your normal rookies. Additionally, explosive action wouldn't be here. This entire tree is reworked so much that I won't be covering the differences. I'll just be talking about what I pick as I pick things. Also, this screen is a great example of why I'm just trying to cover the mods that impact gameplay as they come up and as they're relevant, and it'll just, so many things will slip through the cracks. This is Soldier Info Redux. Up here is a different mod whose name I forget that's like displays soldier counts. Show all classes by Iridar. That's the name of it. There are so many little mods that I have to put the credits at the end of the video and not worry about letting some slip through the cracks. So there's no way I'll remember all of them. I didn't even remember that this was a different mod until I started talking about this, which I just think of as the default UI because I've used it for so long. This is the part of the video I've been dreading. Let's explain how we're promoting people, because it is a tangled mess of me talking about going to Waterworld at the end of the campaign in episode 1, because the way I'm planning, I have soldiers I want to stack certain stats on in Covert Ops. I want to do that all campaign to create super soldiers to carry late game chosen assaults and Waterworld. And that means I need to start planning them at the start of the game when I start doing the stacking. So we need to talk about who's doing what, how they're getting stacked right now. So I guess before we get into that, let's talk about a little bit of stuff going around at base. Over on research, we're going straight for modular weapons like you do. Over in the engineering, Shin, I do not care. Whatever you have to say, I do not want to know. We're going to clear alien debris right away with this engineer that we got. In terms of what we're building, we aren't. The resistance ring isn't that useful if I don't know what cards I have, so this doesn't help me very much. The trading center is not very useful at all if I don't have AP. The laboratory and the workshop don't make any sense. I don't have buildings and I don't have scientists. The power relay, I don't have anything using power. And the guerrilla tactics school, well, none of my soldiers are ranked up. So none of this actually does anything right now. What's our money going towards, you might ask? Well, it's going towards soldiers. This is a tutorial about the crew limit from living space, a core part of all of this stuff, of the covert infiltration rework, of the strategy overhaul, is that you can see here we have 29 out of 40 crew. This is affected by me. I believe it's base 30 or base 35. I forget the exact original numbers, but my number is increased due to the fact that you just need more soldiers. If you're playing with 8-man squads, you need more people, and therefore you need more living space, so my numbers have been increased by about 33% from vanilla, with emphasis on rounding, because no one wants to see 39 crew as their max. That would just be annoying. So we're going to use as much money as we can to hire initial soldiers, and we're just hiring whoever has the most will. Eclipse Crash is here with 50. Next up, we have Blind Alpha. Nope, Final Enigma at 48. And sorry, Blind Alpha, looks like we're taking Phoenix Point at 50, and now we're out of money. So later in the game, we might come back for more people. Blind Alpha at 47. Gothic Toaster at 43, Revolver Ocelot at 44, but for now we're out of money, nothing else to talk about. Now, the reason we need soldiers is on the 21st, we're gonna have a Haven retaliation. I don't care, Bradford, I'm talking about other stuff. We'll talk about proactive deployment when it comes up shortly. And we will be investigating that, but again, not now. Betos, I do not care, everyone wants to talk to me, I'm very popular these days. So, we have a bunch of things we're doing in terms of covert ops. And generally, the way you can get the most benefit in covert infiltration, the way you can propel your campaign the furthest, the fastest, is by getting ahead. You're not expected to do everything. You're not expected to do all the covert ops and all the missions, and the more you're able to do, the more advantages you can accrue. So even though it's completely okay to be skipping out on things, if you're able to get the soldier count to not skip out on things, that is a tremendous advantage for you. We obviously need to locate both of these. We can't locate Templars for a while because we don't have a sergeant. Stacking dodge, I don't care about. Stacking will, I don't care about. Stacking mobility, we are going to be putting whoever is going to be our A-team assault onto this mission, and they're going to be getting mobility all game long. Here, stacking dodge, again, I really don't care. And mobility, again, this is going to be the sort of thing where I just want to send the assault out on this mission as well. So we got no hack and no aim this first month, unfortunately. However, ultimately, it's not the biggest deal. Now, resistance order here for modular construction. I don't really care about this, but I'm going to be sending soldiers out to do this just to get them promoted. I'm going to be doing every single one of these with the exception of, since there is mobility here and here, I'll be leaving one undone so the assault can go on the second one and get mobility +2. And we're going to do this one first to get the scanning sites unlocked. So, in terms of who's going, I'm not sending anyone who just got a promotion because for me, for the assault, I don't care about anything for them. I don't care about any of their random AWC perks. I just need them to have goodwill and go on a lot of missions. So we're going to find some rookie who hasn't been on a mission with like 48 will. 50 would be ideal. Oh, hey, Flagship Inferno, welcome aboard. And then we will send the optional soldier to negate the wound chance and also to get them promoted. Now, because they don't matter as much, I mean, I should just still send out the best people, right? Yeah, I'll send Eclipse Crash. And there's nothing to do with their gear this time, so we just send them immediately. They're gone for 5 days, 14 hours, and they'll be back when they're back. Let me double check. Did I like skim over anything important here? No, there's no risk that I need to worry about.
We will work hand in hand with our new ally.
Now, for the rest of this, I'm just sending whoever. It doesn't matter at all, which means I'm sending the rookies with the highest will, and I'm sending out 8 of them. We'll send out Iron Rhino, get dodge +6, and we'll pair them up with Pure Mischief at 48. Good luck, guys. For uncovering the black markets, will +5. We may as well send somebody good for that. There'll be an unreasonable amount of will since they're starting at 50. We have a lot of 50s. Holy shit, this is unusual. We might have missed out on the stacking missions, but we have a ton of people with good will here. Fear of the loss is a problem, but if you have like 50 base will and will +5, does that give them a higher chance to resist the penalty like it would with Mind Fray, or does this happen? I don't actually know how the fear mechanics work. Anyway, we'll again send out someone who's reasonably good with them, like Missile Moth at 44. And we're doing this really just to get these soldiers removed into squaddies. We don't care about the resistance order so much. We absolutely do care about having a bunch of squaddies available when the retaliation happens, though. Now, dodge +9 will be going on to some high will guy, like Mercury Hawk. And then we'll send somebody reasonably good, just high 40s, like Cryolite Commando. Good luck, you two. They might get wounded, they might get ambushed. Ambush would definitely be annoying, but it's fine. And I'm absolutely not spending intel to prevent a wound risk on rookies. What are you talking about, game?
We will work hand in hand with our new ally.
Leaving us with our last two, we are unable to locate the Templars, and we are unable to... Well, we can technically go on this right now. The issue is that I want the assault to go on both of them. Now, coming over to soldiers, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 rookies sitting around at the minute. We're gonna have, I think, 2 missions on average before the Haven Retaliation. I'm thinking I actually do just want to send out a second guy to become an assault, and then based on what perks they have available, I'll pick whichever one is marginally better. I don't think I really care about assault perks at all, but I don't like sitting on this mobility mission and committing to having an assault with 1 mobility not go on the Haven Retaliation, because I want him there. So for the sake of tempo, I'm not going to stack that mission. I'm going to make sure that I get these rookies out and go on this other mobility +1 now. Oh my god, we still have 50 wills lying around. Yeah, sure, Phoenix Point, get in there, get that mobility. And then for our last one, just throw in somebody who's got a lot, like Dead Titan. Moderate soldier wound, you'll be fine, don't worry about it. Now, I think the only promotion for our current rookies that is immediately obvious is White Wolf with Overseer is going to Marine. That seems so good for allowing the Marine to shoot multiple times, and then someone else can Overwatch to put them into Overwatch. What other class would this be beneficial on? An assault? You're not going to be an assault, that's not happening. We've already settled that other people are doing the A-team assault stuff. I think this just makes the most sense by far on a Marine. Especially because Marines will have turns with like dash forward into a position and then someone else overwatches near them to get them into Overwatch. I think this is just obvious Marine. It feels like, the reason I'm awkward about it is you kind of want this to be next to the Marine as opposed to the Marine. But no one other than the Marines will be great at shooting in the first place. So going into Commander's Choice, we assign this guy the job of Marine. Let's see if you get good perks. What is it that I'm looking for exactly on Marines? There's nothing I care about tremendously. High Caliber is not it. Lightning Reflexes is alright, but realistically, Marines aren't pulling Overwatches. Entrenched is incredible. It's one of the perks I care about the most, because it means since your Marine's already in full cover pretty much all the time, because you're anchoring your position around where the Marine is in full cover suppressing people. So this just makes them incredibly more durable, which is especially valuable if you're aim stacking an A-team unit all campaign. Bandolier is great just for the ammo slot. Impressive Strength and Certified CMT not so much. I would have liked to see combat conditioning or spare shells in here, but this is still, like, I've got the thing I really care about, and Bandolier is still a nice to have. This is acceptable for an A-team Marine. You are going to get that role eventually. For now, though, you're just a Marine. With gifted combat intelligence and a crazy perk, though. And as always, I'll be color-coding my classes. This campaign, Marines are blue, as they always are. Now, with the rest of the people who survived our first mission, at Gravely Wounded, they're not immediately relevant. At 39, 38, 36, and 41, they're not great units for the A-team. Steel Guardian at 47 will is an A-team candidate, so we want to promote them to something that's actually, likely to join the A-team. And what I mean by that, there are a lot of classes I can promote to where it doesn't matter what perks they get. For instance, with Sapper, if they don't get heat grenades, they're not on the A-team. Conversely, if I put them as a field medic, I don't even care what their perks are. I care if they're psionic, and not if they're anything else. And that won't be discovered until much later in the campaign. By the way, we're running Psionic Overhaul V3. Psions are not a class, they are an add-on to other classes. We'll get there when we get there, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna move this over for a hot second. I may as well show what I'm looking at as I think here. I was looking through this. I'm not gonna be bringing a combat engineer to Waterworld. They're not gonna be on my A-team at the very end of the game. We'll talk about combat engineers in a second. They are an incredible class, but their strengths are not for gauntlet missions with several other people. They're for small groups and for short missions. Assault's already taken, and then Field Medic is determined by Psionics. So we have Field Supports, Marine is already taken, Marksman, Sappers, and Tech Specialists. And in bold down here, you can see that all of these have different abilities I really care about getting from their decks. So realistically, whoever I pick, I'm still rolling. I'm leaning towards Sapper, and I can't tell you why, but there's no reason not to make him a Sapper. So, begin training. I think it's because I'm making Sappers red. Is that what it is? No, Assaults are red. What color are Sappers? They're yellow. We got heat grenades, baby. What else did we get? Did we get the other thing, whatever it was I cared about? Sprints? Unfortunately not. Sprint's kind of a huge deal. Like, heat grenades are absolutely incredible because now they deal more damage to armored units. They shred more. They're just doing their job better. But Sprint can be insanely valuable. I'm definitely going to make several more Sappers over the course of the game, so this isn't necessarily an A-team character, but for now, they're the best Sapper I've got. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade Sonic Serenade to a Sapper now. Sappers and Combat Engineers are classes where I will always be glad to have lots of them. They're great at Squatty, so this character coming in as a Squatty Sapper on day 23 is completely fine. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade Serenade to Sapper as well and see if she can roll what I'm looking for, and then they both need to be color changed because they are clearly not in uniform. Or rather, one of them is. This one got Sprint, but not the other one. Maybe if the two of you get together and have a kid, they'll have both perks. But neither of these are my A-team Sapper, they're just both great Sappers. And realistically, for the longest time, my A-team is just the people who are alive with the highest numbers. A-team is something that will happen in the future, not right now. As for the rest of this, these units are pretty rough, right? I'm gonna make Psycho Mantis a combat engineer so that when they come in on day 28, they'll be a relevant class, even though they're not gonna be good. I'm gonna make Jaded Rabbit a combat engineer because they're one of my worst units, so having them be a great early game unit and not having to worry about them in the late game sounds better. As for seeding Orca and Big Large, I'm gonna make one into a Marksman and one into... God, I don't even want them to be on my A-team though, that's the awkward thing. Well, realistically, they won't be. I'll be taking Orca as my Marksman because if they're going to be ending up as a low-will A-team member, I'd rather them be very, very far away. They probably won't hit what I'm looking for, though. They hit half of it. They hit low profile, but no sprint. Bandolier is very nice, but sprint's really, really important for snipers for obvious action economy reasons. And damn shame, but I'm not too beat up about it because you're never going to be great at the job anyway. Over here for Big Large with his criminally low 41 will, because God, I wish this guy were in the A-team. Look at him. He's amazing. He doesn't color particularly well, though. I do have to take some points away for that. He is just sort of the top bit. Let's go ahead and make him into our first tech specialist. And we are seeing for his perks, certified CMT, hot charge batteries, upgraded scanners, sprints. Oh my God, is he actually perfect? Like, I wouldn't mind Salvo in this third deck instead of Blast Padding, but he has the two I really care about, hot charge batteries and sprint. Upgraded scanners is fantastic. He might have terrible opening will, but I think this is just my A-team specialist. It's unlikely I get somebody who's better than him. It's possible, but for now, Big Large is going in as my tentative A-team character for the end game. Also, they're all going to need to get into uniform, so green for our tech specs, black for our marksmen, yellow for the sappers. Well, yellow for one of our sappers, the other one was already with the program. The program being the hospital, I guess. Now, taking a look at our classes, you can see we have no field supports, no field medics. Our assaults are in the waiting room called Covert Operations and no combat engineers. Field supports and field medics, being support units, are really bad when they're supporting rookies. Having none of them is completely fine. However, having no combat engineers is criminal. This guy just has to become combat engineer because I won't want them going on my first hard mission alongside this skirmisher. And he is already color-coded. That is the correct color for combat engineer. Congratulations. Now, with combat engineers, I really don't care about what is in this perk deck because I don't plan to bring them on water worlds. I don't plan on spending huge amounts of AP down here. Now, that said, Bunker Buster Rapid Deployment Salvo might actually be the dream. Like, this might be perfect. There's a bunch of Overwatch stuff in here, but if you just want to make a really strong combat engineer, these might be some of the best things you can see. There's other really good stuff, like pressurized tanks can be over here, javelin rockets to extend the rocket range. I'll talk about all of the classes in a hot second at the end. The reason I'm putting it off, by the way, is it's going to be a good another 20 minutes at the end of the strategy layer, so I'm going to wait till the end to go over all the class stuff before we go into the next mission. And Psycho Mantis with their terrible will out for 28 days, already color-coded and everything. Welcome aboard as a combat engineer. You'll be ready to do stuff, you know, sometime starting next month. Excuse me, sir. This happens every campaign, I think. I always have like exactly one guy that randomly doesn't get with the program. Didn't even notice until just now. All right, their history has been redacted, their nationality is gone. Welcome Rowdy Ruffian, which is an appropriate name for someone who refuses to follow the system. Unfortunately, we have beaten them into conformity. There's no room for identities here. We can't love you too much. We have to love you in a really detached sort of way. Otherwise, it'll hurt a lot more when they die, and it's definitively my fault. Now, I did use all of my money buying soldiers and not things like flashbangs, medkits, and smoke grenades. Or a Hunter's Axe in particular. I suppose no one's around to use the Hunter's Axe or the Shadow Keeper, and the Bolt Caster kind of sucks. So it's not the biggest deal, but it is notable that I just bought people instead of things. I think we're good to go, though. I think we're ready to hit the scan button, and we're going to be scanning 4 supplies in 10 days. We can use that to buy rookies. Or, you know, things to equip our real soldiers with. I really, really love the barrack status. It is so convenient. Now let's see what happens. We have a new Covert action, rescue scientists. This is a chain. So the way that chains work, well, obviously it's a chain of missions. One leads to the other. You can see we have Covert action here, which is going to mobility, huh? But we have to send somebody on this immediately. We're not delaying this to mobility stack somebody. So let's go make a third potential A-team assault. That's very frustrating because there's literally no perks I care about on my assault infantry at all. Is there an argument for like sending my Marine? Because the Marine has bad mobility, so this would be appreciated. In the super late game, I probably give them the Icarus armor and they teleport around and they don't need to move anymore. But for the vast majority of the game, I think I'd appreciate this mobility. If I send them on this, they'll be tired and probably be ready for the retaliation, right? 6 days, 3 hours. It's currently, where's the date? Where's the date? March 2nd? Yeah, so if I go to this and I send that Marine, he'll likely be ready in time for the retaliation, and that seems fine. Is there a risk of soldier wound? But the wound and tired are going to be about the same thing, I think. So I'm not too worried. And we'll throw in a random high competence rookie. There's so many of them. We got such good will rolls in this one. If we really just wanted mobility on all of our soldiers, that would be great. We'll send Wretched Phoenix in with them. We're not spending money to prevent you getting wounded. We'll just buy another soldier. Get out of here with that shit. And yeah, that's a lot of missions in progress. We continue scanning for supplies now. Modular Weapons is about to wrap up, and after that we'll go straight into whatever the armor tech one is. I forget the name of it. Hybrid materials. We're now able to build all of the basic PCSs, however, not PCSs, weapons techs. You inspired the only thing I cared about. Good job. Really appreciate that, Tygan. He is on the ball today. So how much does it cost to build? Well, you see, that's the neat part. It doesn't. I'm not sure where I build them at, but I was thinking it probably isn't something you ever want to do anyway. It's not a great use of your supplies. But for the time being, I don't know where you would build them, and I'm not too worried about it. Oh, and it says 2 days. It actually meant 32 hours. That's very nice. Anyway, continue on scanning for supplies until hybrid materials wraps up. And then we assign new research, and we're going to go straight from here. We're not building Nano Skill Fest. Don't be ridiculous. We're not doing rapid excavation. Are we doing rapid excavation? 10 days. I don't think so. We haven't gotten any more missions, so we don't have the alien alloys to actually start alien alloy integration. If you're unfamiliar with this tech, it's because you don't play, I believe it's weapon and item overhaul. Oh, I don't know. I think it is. I did a quick double check. It is from weapons and item overhaul. Alien Alloy integration, and later on there'll be tier 2 and tier 3 techs like this for the higher tier stuff, gives you better stats on your lower tech stuff. So this will give you +1 armor on your ballistic vest and +1 damage on your ballistic weapons, which is really, really good. And it helps to smooth out the progression of difficulty and not make it such massive power spikes specifically on magnetic weapons or plated armor. Instead, this is just smoothing out the difficulty curve and giving you very clear middle goals for it. But we can't go for it now anyway, so we're gonna be going for Alien Biotech. Really don't want to go for Rapid Excavation. This feels like it'll eventually give me money. Oh wait, it's just the next one. I thought it was like a permanent increase in speed. Holy shit, that's terrible. Yeah, there's not a decision there. Never mind. And then we'll continue scanning for supplies. We're finally having some of these wrap up. And you can get fatigued from this. We all know that mechanic. Promoted Flagship Inferno and Eclipse Crash. Mobility by 1 on Flagship Inferno. So let's go promote them to an Assault before we forget. 11 days for rookies, but we've already got down to 5 days on supplies. Might still go for rookies instead, because like I'm probably buying humans with the money anyway, right? I may as well finish supplies first and then go. Like I have plenty of rookies lying around right now. And additionally, let's go upgrade one of those rookies. Flagship Inferno with your increased mobility. Congratulations on being potentially my A-Team Assault. You're already colored for it too with your ridiculous Purge Priest outfit. Look at this man. Now, I don't particularly care about any of this stuff, but since you're competing with 2 other mobility +1 soldiers, I guess I should look at it. I don't really care for take cover or slip into position. Impressive strength is nice, but without total combat, it's less important. Ever Vigilant's probably one of the better ones, so is Unbreakable. Ever Vigilant lets you sprint into Overwatch to take some flank shots at point blank. Unbreakable is just great. Blast padding is good. I'm thinking with these 3, this is probably what I'm picking, unless someone else like rolls all of this and total combat, but this looks pretty good on Flagship Inferno. Happy with that soldier. This other character is also at 50 will. So looking at Eclipse Crash, I can make them into a field medic and a field support. I've got none of those. I can make them into a marksman because I don't have an AT marksman yet. You are kind of color coded for marksman. I mean, you're green and black, but black's the color we're going with, right? I think I really want my field supports and field medics coming from the second wave of soldiers. They're just very weak. I don't want them early. So I'm gonna take marksman here, see if we can get the A-Team marksman out of this character. They have electronic surveillance, low profile, but no sprints. They have really good perks. Electronic surveillance, smoke screen, and low profile are all very good. Defensive Mind and Untouchable aren't terrible, but Bandolier is probably better than this other stuff. But no Bandolier, no Sprint, and Sprint is once again the really important one, so this is just another marksman. Very good chance they are an AT marksman until like the end of the game, but they don't have Sprint, and Sprint is so good. So we're gonna keep scanning for supplies so that we can buy stuff and then go to people afterwards. Alien Biotech is almost done. Still no missions, so I guess we're gonna do an autopsy because we just don't have alloys to research with.
The advent officers have
we can do sectoid or officer autopsies, and we can unlock the proving ground, which is something worth building. Or we can do sectoids. We don't care about mind shields and psionics at all, so I guess we go down officer because it's the only one that makes any sense. And then we will continue looking for money in the desert. All right, we have another one finishing up. This is mobility by 1 on White Wolf, who got wounded, unfortunately. Let's go figure out what those upgrades are. New infiltration mission available, because that was the one for Rescue Scientist. All right, that'll be the thing we load out shortly. But first, let's go look at the classes we've got. Oh, right, White Wolf was already upgraded. He's not becoming an assault. He's my Marine. And he was wounded for 16 days, huh? That's a bit longer than the fatigue would have been. Yeah, it's 16 days he'll be missing that retaliation. Whoops. Happens to the best of us, it's fine. Wretched Phoenix is at 48. I don't feel great about making a 3rd marksman immediately. But that ain't gonna stop me from doing it. Get in here, buddy. Somebody's gotta roll sprint eventually. At this point, if I don't get it, we might just be done for a little while. Oh, that's unfortunate. So I'm gonna stop rolling marksman now. And additionally, we're probably not going to mark down specific AT marksman for a long time. There's a good chance we end up getting one from a mission or something that has the right perks, but we have failed to hit them on our first 3 rolls, and we have to start making other classes. We can't just keep making marksmen. And of course, he has to get in his edgy marksman uniform. which is a little bit less edgy with the ridiculous fleur-de-lis pattern on it. Now, let's get into Covert Infiltration. Let's talk about Covert Ops. We have an infiltration mission. This means we're loading out the mission, but it's not going immediately. You'll see that we have, oh, whoops. When you come into an infiltration mission, you see that it has a 0 days, 0 hours of its current duration. Let's fit out our 6 soldiers for it. Who would be coming? We're obviously bringing whatever combat engineer we upgraded. Realistically, I don't think the skirmisher has time to go on this mission and get out, which is unfortunate. Bring us in the tech specialist because it, difficulty, easy, rescue from cell. You don't really need a tech specialist for this, to be honest. I'll bring my sapper just because it makes the mission a lot easier. And I might bring 4 rookies at this point. I'll definitely bring one of the marksmen. It would be insane not to bring any. I think Eclipse is the best marksman we've got. I'm going to send her to start ranking up there. The other 3 might just be rookies. I'm hesitant about sending too many competent soldiers because I need people available to go on the Haven defense. We will get more people back from Covert Ops before the Haven defense hits. Not all of them, though. We're on day 10, right? Yeah, we're on day 10. Oh, hey, we've unlocked Form Soldier Bond here. I'm not sure when that showed up. I care about that a lot. Unfortunately, my A-Team Marine got wounded for 16 days, and this expires before then. I'm going to send a rookie and promote them to Marksman and see if they just happen to roll what I want for a Marksman. Because I do actually want to aim stack on some soldiers that aren't Marines. I want to really aggressively aim stack a Marine, mobility stack an Assault, hack stack a Specialist. Dodge and health don't really matter. I'm not going to try to make a biotank with anything. But I additionally want to aim stack a little bit, not nearly as hard, on a Marksman, a Skirmisher, and a Field Support for various reasons. So sending a rookie on this and then blind promoting them and hoping they can get to the A-Team is not the worst thing to do. And if they don't get on the A-Team, we can give them the bond, because I don't want them bonded on... Actually, I don't really care what they're bonded to, the more I think about it. Right, we got Final Enigma at 48, and Umbral Assault at 47. Will, yeah, you can have your risk of soldier wounded. You're not worth 25 supplies to be alive, much less wounded. Like, if it prevented soldier death outright, it would be a good deal, but not for a wound. Now let's get back to infiltrating this, because I just didn't know that mission existed before. In terms of promoted classes, we have 2 more marksmen we can put on the mission. We have so many marksmen that I actually don't mind double stacking marksmen here. I'll throw in Wretched Phoenix and then 2 rookies. And we'll just have like a fairly defensive team going, I think. I'm okay with that. We're getting down to reasonable will numbers on these rookies, like 46 and 45. We're throwing in Rowdy Ruffian and Hulking Cardinal. And I think it's finally time to talk about what the classes do, because we're about to send them out to a mission, huh? But first, we're putting a shotgun on the Sapper, because they have the option of running that. It's just better. For our Cannoneer, we're going to be running a shotgun, because we just need shotguns. We have a bunch of rookies around. They're not going to be carrying their weight. So this is our close range gang with the explosives and the shotguns. We have 2 marksmen. We don't want holo targeters. Those are just not great. We're going to take some pistols instead. In terms of our secondary weapons, we can either run frag grenades or Molotovs. And Molotovs are great for the Lost, but not so much for normal advent troopers, so we'll be running frags on everyone. And then these last 2 rookies, well, you know, they're rookies. So you can see that this group of people, all their gear and all their classes, all this stuff has infiltration modifiers, and they call 6 days, 16 hours. There's no bonds to lower it, there's no overload penalty, and you might be like, what's an overload penalty? Well, the 7th and 8th soldiers are overload penalties. And if you do the math, running a 7th and 8th soldier ends up taking like 3 times the man hours compared to just sending a squad of 6. So we'll absolutely be sending a squad of 6 instead. Advent loot sit reps, sign me up, that's wonderful. So in 6 days, 16 hours, we'll be launching this mission. Before I send them out though, let's briefly talk about their abilities. The Proficiency Sappers get Explosive Ordnance. They have Grenade Pockets, which gives them an additional grenade, obviously, and they deal +3 environmental damage. As they level up, they're going to get more charges on that Grenade Pocket, more critical hit damage, or the ability to critically hit rather, and critical hit damage. And it just keeps getting more as they go up. Of course, they have a Launch Grenade and Defensive Mine. Defensive Mine might not be in, of course, but I'm so used to it. Defensive Mine is a free action proximity mine that you place within basically 1 or 2 tiles of you. And it's incredible for dealing with reinforcements, not so much for anything else, but it's a great ability. Get a lot of use out of that. Combat Engineer's proficiency skill is chemical mixtures. They start off with blast padding and 2 ablative health, so they are actually great at tanking for a squatty soldier, since they'll have 2 ablative armor and 1 natural armor, or 2 ablative health rather, and 1 actual armor. Additionally, they take less damage from explosives. They've got the Gauntlet, which gives them 2 charges of flamethrower and a rocket. And then they're going to get more ablative armor and better rocket perks, or flamethrower perks rather, as they rank up. They also have the suppression ability, defensive mine just like the sapper, and this makes your flamethrower slightly bigger than someone else's might be. And lastly, coming over to marksman, they get the brace ability, which improves as they rank up. It's going to reduce squad sight penalties, reduce target's chance to dodge, increase your chance to crit on flanked targets. Pretty straightforward. You need to brace to use squad sight in this. You have the hollow target ability, but again, we don't care about that. We're going to be using pistols instead. They have phantom, all of them do, so they're going to stay concealed even when the rest of them get revealed. And a brace is how you get the range for squad sight in the first place. Once you brace, you spend one action, you stay braced until you move. And additionally, it gives you a flat +8 to vision and weapon range. You don't have squad sight penalties in those first 8, and you get to see a little bit further, which can be very relevant. Now, that's it for abilities going into this. That's it for their kit, so let's send them out. We are so close to finally being done with the lengthy first strategy section. But first, let's go dig through the rubbish and find some more supplies. Oh, speaking of, we're doing that inside the ship, too. Forgot about that. So I think we're just digging out the next alien debris. There's no real reason to do anything else. We have more money now. We don't need to buy soldiers right now. We don't need to buy gear right now, so we're not going to worry about any of that. And we're going to keep scanning immediately.
Strategic resource located.
We got the supplies, but we're not flying back to HQ. We're going to go get some rookies.
New course.
Gonna be honest, supplies and rookies definitely feels worse than like scanning for a scientist or an engineer, but it's fine. And what's going to happen? In 3 days, we got admin officer autopsy, not a whole lot. A new assault mission. So that mission we just got out is not actually what we'll be doing. Where is... Oh, it's the protected device mission. I don't know why I thought it would say assault mission. So you have infiltration missions like the one I showed you, and then assault missions. Infiltration is when you're setting out people to be secretive and actually set up a mission ahead of time. Assault missions is when you're responding to something immediately, and they work like old missions. There will be no optional 7th or 8th soldiers here. We just bring the whole gang every time. Now, it's March 11th, March 12th, actually, early in the morning. And we have 8 people to bring on this. I don't think we have 8 people with ranks. We have a marksman, a skirmisher, a tech spec, and an assault. We have 4 rookies that will be coming. We have a bunch of people infiltrating, a bunch of people in covert actions, no one getting back soon, so we will be sending everyone with the class and the 4 best rookies. Not a lot to think about there. I'd say the 4 best rookies, but like... There's not that many rookies left, right? 44, 42. We're getting down to the 30s. We finally got to the dregs, 39. Then we have a surprising number of people at the very bottom at 35, 36. I'll let Magpie in. Now, all these rookies, they're just assault rifles and grenades. No reason they'd be anything else. Shotgun, sword, grenade, bullpup, ripjack, grenade. What's your alternative weapon? A sniper rifle? Maybe, honestly. The bullpup's just really bad. And there's already so many rookies, an assault and a skirmisher running forward. The issue is he doesn't have squad sight or brace, so he's so immobile with it, it's just terrible on him. We'll switch out this hollow targeter for a pistol, just like the previous groups. We could build items, but like, what items could we build that we actually care about? A flashbang would be not too bad. Medkit, no. Smoke, no. Hunter's axe. If there's an assault on the team, absolutely. Shadowkeeper. I'll take the Shadowkeeper. I'll take the Hunter's axe. We're going to need those eventually. We're not making nanoscale vests. It is not worth it at all to us. So we replace this sword with the axe. That's a good step up.
Unwieldy, but in the right hands,
We replace this pistol with the Shadowkeeper for some guaranteed damage once per mission.
This one is sighted in. There's no excuse for missed shots.
I did a quick double check. There's no sit reps here. I was like, wait a second. Are we doing a lost smash and grab mission? No, it's a real mission. It's so unusual. I'm so used to getting a grindy lost mission or a smash and grab as my early stuff, but this is an actual full-on mission as our second mission. Operation Tough Fist. I think our mission codename guy is doing a great job so far. That sounds like the name of one of my stupid codenamed characters. But for now, I'm done. I've been Rather Coherent. Hope you've enjoyed this first episode of Modded XCOM with me. I'll be back tomorrow with our first real mission. Not quite as many class soldiers as I would like, and what's worse is my skirmisher's on this mission 8 days before retail. So there's a chance he's not available for the first Chosen, which we know is weak to him. So we really need this guy not to get wounded, and we really need him to be available 8 days from now. Anyways, I'm done for now. I've been Rather Coherent. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff really does help the channel grow, and I'll see you in the next one.